This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on May 23rd, 2014. Our time is 8:44 Mountain. A radio show runs on your favorite radio stations. Also, the shows are archived on Harold's two websites, HESradio.com and rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We have a podcast. The radio show is portable. All you need to do is have iTunes on your portable device. Type in World Financial Report on Radio. You will find us. Subscribe to the podcast. It comes in every week. We go anywhere you do. Harold does daily market commentary, too. A lot of people tune in every day on his website and the podcast site for his daily commentary. The only company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold and silver is Worldwide Precious Metals. Their website, www.pmc.com, the telephone number 1-866-623-2002. They're going to be in Edmonton after being in Calgary, going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd. They're currently booking private information sessions. If you would like to sit down with them and learn about investing in hard assets, now is the time to do so. Connect with them at www.pmc.com or call 1-866-623-2002. Get our free weekly newsletter as well. It's the companion to our radio show. It's a must-read every week. You can sit down with them and go through some of the information when you meet them privately here in Edmonton. Later in the show, we will talk about HES Fine Auctions and the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation and how that auction went on Wednesday. Long weekend in the United States and the UK. Of course, here in Canada, we had our long weekend last weekend. In the United States, it's coming up as well in the UK. And news of the week, 11 million people in the United States on disability. That hits a new record. Also, poll out, 47% of unemployed have given up looking for a job. Disneyland, we hear about no inflation. Disneyland raised prices 10%. Also this weekend, the Ukraine and Europe, they're in a situation where their parliamentary elections are going to be taking place. The UK had some parliamentary elections, really threw things into a bit of a turmoil as one of the parties that was looking for change really did have a lot of their members get elected. So it sort of threw open Pandora's box. So we're in a situation now where there's a lot of unrest in Europe. You see it with the Ukrainian situation. You see it with Russia. And obviously with the elections in the Ukraine and Europe, we really don't know what's going to be happening in the days and weeks ahead. And Harold, that's why we advocate having hard assets, because it's an insurance policy in your portfolio.
It certainly is, Randy. And again, there's so much going on, and again, a lot of the information you really have to dig to find out. So the inflation numbers that came out last week were alarming. And then this week, you saw that the Federal Reserve came out and said that they're going to keep interest rates low, and, you know, the stock market rallied on that. But the bottom line is that with inflation rising, you should be raising interest rates based on that news, not keeping them down at zero. So we do believe that there's going to be a result from what's happening from this. There's always an action-reaction type of situation, and if you keep interest rates low during inflationary times, you're going to see that certain markets will skyrocket based on that, and one of those markets is the precious metals market. So, again, we don't trade this market. I know it's been a boring last couple of years where the market has basically been trading in a range, and that's what it's doing at this point. But the fundamentals for the market, you're starting to see things really start to come to a head at this point. A lot of problems in Europe, a lot of problems here in the United States. Inflation starting to come. Oil's back up to $105. You know, there's no way in the world that inflation can be low with food prices going up 25% in the first quarter, and then on top of that you have gas prices and oil prices sitting at well above $100. So, again, I'm a firm believer that you use the hard asset market like precious metals as a hedge against what's coming forward. Again, we had a lot of fun in the markets from, 2000 up to 2011. and then the governments really started to get desperate, and they started playing around with the markets, and now the market has been in a funk for the last couple of years. However, it's still a very strong market and is still holding support. And basically, we've seen gold go from 250 all the way up to 1900 and back to 1180. Even at 1180, when the market is building a very strong base, obviously at that point, you're talking about a market that's still up, 400-500% from where it was. It's still one of the best bull markets that has been in the marketplace, for the last umpteen years. So I'm still a firm believer that this is nowhere close to being over. Everything that the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve has tried to do has not really resulted in the positive effect. By putting all the money into the marketplace with quantitative easing, into the bond market, back into the stock market, back into the mortgage-backed securities, it was supposed to have a strong effect on the U.S. economy. What was supposed to happen is that, as more money was brought back into the system, that companies would start to do better, that retail sales would be up, that more companies would start to hire, and the economy would get back on track. You see, when the middle class is working and doing well, they're spending money, they're paying taxes, and the country is thriving. But we know at this point, especially in the U.S., the middle class has gotten hurt more than any other class. So the middle class is getting burned badly. They're running out of money. Their jobs that they depend on are not there anymore. And as Randy brought up at the beginning of the show, the fact is that the job numbers that are coming out are not accurate, because people that can't find a job have given up. So all they're reporting on is people that are looking for jobs, but there's so few jobs available, and the jobs that are available are mostly part-time or lower-paying jobs, and there's no way in the world that a family could live on that. So a lot of families now are on unemployment insurance and living off the government, and that's a horrible thing because, the bottom line is it takes away motivation, it takes away growth, it takes away, the opportunity of people to start to prosper in their lives, and it's a very depressing situation. And the unfortunate thing is that, if a family is given $500 a week to live off of by the government type of thing, you get used to that. You can change your lifestyle to live on that kind of money, as opposed to going out and trying to start a new business and doing well for yourself and your family. So there's a lot of people that are very, very upset about what's happening in the U.S. The job market is abysmal, and the fact is that the middle class is still in big, big trouble. The only people that are getting wealthier at this time are the rich, the top 1%, that are taking advantage of opportunities in the marketplace that the general public just doesn't have the money or the knowledge to take advantage of. So again, we're trading in a range at this point here, but we're not trading in gold and silver. We're buying and holding because there's so many things on the horizon that could happen that could make the price of metals skyrocket, and one of them is inflation, and I think we're looking at inflation right in the face. Again, we started buying gold and silver years and years ago based on the fact that we felt that we would have inflation moving forward, and that opinion has not changed. So as we're taping the show today on Friday, it was a very thinly market traded this week because last week you had the Canadian holiday on Monday, there was a long weekend, and this week in the United States. So you've got very few people in the marketplace today. Most people are taking a long, long weekend. Because they can at this point here. So you're going to see a very lightly traded market. Gold is down 70 cents. We're trading at $12.94. We're really trading in a very narrow range of about $10 today in gold. The low was $12.85. The high was $12.95. Silver, basically the same thing. We're down 5 cents on the day, trading out at $19.53. We've seen a high of $19.57 and a low of $19.22 with very, very heavy support in silver, basically at the $18 level. So I don't think we're going to see the market come to that point, but, getting into the summer times, people are on vacation, the markets tend to slow down. Again, you just want to hold your physical gold and silver because we could wake up any morning and find out that all the markets have changed, and we do believe that that is what's going to happen. Platinum's actually been doing very, very well, up and down $8 today on profit taking, but the market's almost at 1,500. It's at 1,481, and we did hit a high of 1,492 today. palladium's been the metal that's been up the most. It's down $7 today on profit taking, but it's traded as high as $8.32. The high today, was $8.35 and the low $8.24. So palladium has done extremely well. Most palladium and platinum come from Russia, and with still problems between Russia and the Ukraine and sanctions against them, we could see those two metals go substantially higher. Platinum and palladium are two metals to watch. The Dow has been down heavily for part of the week, and then the last couple of days have been strong because the Federal Reserve came out and said that they're not going to raise interest rates at this time, so the market rallied on that. The Dow was up 53 points at 16,596. NASDAQ up 12 at 4166. But the thing about the Dow and the NASDAQ is that these companies are not showing strong earnings. So why in the world would the Dow be hitting records when the economy is not doing well and most companies are not showing increase in revenues? So again, it's always been our bone of contention that the stock market at this point is manipulated to keep that market up, because the wealthy have their money in that market and they don't want to see that market fall. But the market is not trading on its own auspices. It's not trading on its own fundamentals. If it was, the Dow would be down to about 9,000 at this point. That's where I figure the Dow should be trading. You've got the TSX down 10 points at 14,691. U.S. dollars rallied over the last few days. It's up 14 points at 80.36. And oil's been on the tear this week, up 32 cents at 104.06. So that's what's happening in the markets this week. Again, it's a light week for trading because a lot of the traders in New York have gone away for the weekend, and that's what's happening in the markets, Rand.
Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. They are going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd. Book a private information session. They're offering a zero-obligation meet and greet. Good opportunity for you to learn about investing in hard assets outside the banking system. We saw what happened in Cyprus with the bail-in. People are still very, very concerned about that. If you would like to learn more, connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. Their website, wwpmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Remember, they're going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd. These free information, private information sessions, they book very quickly. So if you're interested, give them a call today. One of the interesting stories in our newsletter this week, and this was from John Embry, and this really puts things in perspective. I was really excited to be in London because the first time I was in London was 52 years ago. I was there with three friends, and we didn't have any money. But the thing that was really interesting back then was that Europe was really cheap from a North American perspective. In fact, there was a book you could get called Europe on $5 a Day. Well, we actually lived in Europe on $5 a day. That included a roof over our heads, 3 meals a day, beer, and the odd buck left over to see a play or something. Well, this time I'm in London 52 years later, and I paid $8 for a Coke in Harrods. That's a pretty good description of the debasement of the U.S. monetary system. And that's really what it's all about. The money that you have today that you've earned and you're using to save for the future, making sure that it is not being debased in paper assets, having it held in something that governments cannot print, hard assets, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, diamonds, hard assets. Governments continue to print money. And as we can see by this example from John Embry, that's exactly what happens when governments continue to run their fiat system and just print and print and print. Those are the consequences. Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals. They're the experts in this very specialized field of investing in gold and silver. They're the only Canadian precious metals bullion dealer recommended by Herald for over 10 years. They're the experts to trust when investing within this market. Find them online, wwpmc.com, or call free of charge, 1-866-623-2002. It's easy to start your own precious metals investment account. Let them explain to you all the ins and outs. And remember, they're going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd. They'll be happy to sit down with you at that time. In our newsletter this week as well, Richard Russell saying shorts may get crushed in the silver market. He says, I'm asking my subscribers to stick to the strategy I've suggested in recent weeks, and that strategy is to be in silver and gold physically if possible, while holding a limited amount of cash as we await the antics of this erratic and difficult market. I think the best thing I can do now is to review a number of interesting and informative charts. There's currently a large short interest in paper silver on the COMEX. This could provide and prove to be explosive if silver starts to advance in a convincing fashion. I've included a daily chart of silver below, and you can see this in our newsletter. He goes on to say, at this juncture, the moving averages on silver are extremely important. If either of the moving averages are bettered, I believe we will see the beginning of a short covering panic in silver. Silver is now trading below both of its moving averages. Silver is now selling below the cost of mining. The 50-day moving average stands at 20. The 200-day moving average stands just below 21. If silver rallies above 20, it will be a technical and psychological victory, since silver will have hurdled both an important even number and its 50-day moving average. Richard Russell saying that the shorts could get crushed in the silver market. Richard Russell also saying, as we mentioned on past shows, now is the time to have an allocation of silver in your portfolio. It's so imperative now more than ever, Harold.
You better believe it. Again, you just never know when this market is going to do what it's going to do. And again, it's been suppressed. Think of it like a coiled spring. You know, it's been pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. And when it does start to explode, again, what they're saying about crushing the shorts, I've seen it happen before. The thing is that these shorts, which are the banks, have nothing but money. And the fact is that, you know, it's very difficult to put them in a bad position. However, it has happened before. And if you look at the charts from 1980 for silver, you know, the fact is that it was almost a straight line horizontally until something happened, and then that market in a period of only a few months went from $20 all the way up to $50 in one swoop. So, you know, that's what we believe this market is going to be. We enjoyed a very great bull market from basically 1999, 2000, all the way up to 2011, and it was predictable. We could predict certain price movements based on the fact that the market was trading on its own volition. So we could read the charts, we could read the fundamentals, and we could put, you know, one and one together and get two. You can't do that right now because everything that should be happening in the marketplace, not only in gold and silver, but in other markets, isn't happening because the markets are being suppressed for the benefit of the government at this particular point. But soon that is going to change. And again, when the market does move, it's going to be like a freight train. It's going to move so fast. And the problem is that people that are not in the market at that point will rush to get in. And the easiest way to get in is through the futures market or through the ETF market. And the fact is you're just going right back into the paper market again, and you're going to get killed in the market when you do that. What you need to do is, if you're comfortable with the price of gold and silver at these levels, and the prices are fairly cheap compared to what we think they're going to be in a couple of years from now, just go in and buy it physically. Well, the markets are quiet and nobody's really thinking about that market at this point. Now's a good time to go ahead and buy it physically and just put it away in your safety deposit box or wherever you feel comfortable putting it, because you want to be in this market. You'd rather be 100 days early than 1 day too late, because when this silver market and gold market start to run, all you're going to do is play catch up. So if you believe that the economy in the U.S. and Europe is in a rough position, if you believe that inflation is going to come and again, interest rates are going to stay low, which again is certainly happening, then you need to own assets like physical gold, physical silver, physical diamonds. Those type of assets will do best when inflation hits, and there's no doubt that we are going to have inflation.
Well, we just saw Disneyland raise prices by 10%. We also have an article about companies and shrinkage when it comes to their box sizes. So you have, let's just say, some cereal. It is coming in a normal size box. Suddenly it's a smaller box. You're paying the same price. You're getting less. Now that is inflation. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. They're going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd, booking private information sessions. If you'd like to speak with them personally and privately, wwpmc.com is their website. Telephone number 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002, the website, wwpmc.com. Two interesting interviews from Greg Hunter this week. Greg Hunter, he interviewed John Williams from Shadow Stats. And John Williams says the dollar is on the brink of disaster. He has a dire prediction for the dollar. He says, I don't see how it will be saved at this point. Now, we are at a point that the dollar has been ignored for years. The federal deficit has been ignored for years. That's why we're on the brink of disaster and that is what has to be addressed now. And that's not happening. He also contends that, the way I see it, the dollar could go to zero in terms of its purchasing power. He says you don't want to have your assets in U.S. dollars. Get our free weekly newsletter from Worldwide Precious Metals. Connect with them at wwpmc.com. Call them 1-866-623-2002. Get that interview. You can watch it online. John Williams has been on Shadow Stats for many, many years, shadowstats.com. And what he's done is he's kept track of how we used to calculate inflation and what real inflation is currently at, and how the government plays with the figures, and as a result, it looks much, much better than it actually is. Greg Hunter also interviewed Charles Nenner, and Nenner also saying the dollar collapsed to start in late 2014. On the U.S. dollar, Nenner predicts timing is our business, and we've always said the dollar is going to collapse in the end of 2014. There are different reasons for this. The government has outstanding loans that are very short term. If interest rates only go up 0.5%, they're already in trouble. Also, the United States doesn't have the power to force a lot of Treasury bonds on other countries because the United States has decided not to be a power anymore. So, of course, the dollar goes with it. Oil is going to be much higher, and inflation is going to start moving its tail. This is the start of inflation. 5 years from now, you will see inflation started in 2014. It's not that that everything happens in 2014. It just is the beginning. And he actually goes on to say, and it's interesting to read in our newsletter, that Nenner believes that we could see on the gold side of things $2,000 to $2,500, and he's saying within a relatively short period of time. He's saying from now until 2020, the first target is $2,100 an ounce, then $2,500, and if that breaks, gold could go parabolic. Learn more. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. 1-866-623-2002. The website, wwpmc.com. Going to come back and talk about diamonds. As the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on May 23rd, 2014. Our time is 9:10 Mountain. Radio show runs on your favorite radio stations. Also, the shows are archived on Harold's websites, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, HESradio.com. We have a podcast through iTunes. Type in World Financial Report on Radio. You'll find us there. You can subscribe. The shows will come in every week. You can listen to them at your convenience on your portable device. Should remind you as well that Harold does daily market commentary. It can be found on his websites and on the podcast site as well. The company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium is Worldwide Precious Metals. Their website, wwpmc.com. The telephone number, 1-866-623-2002. They are going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd, and they are booking private information sessions right now. Now, these are booking very, very quickly. If you would like to sit down with them and learn more about investing in hard assets, why you should have an allocation of hard assets in your portfolio at all times, sit down with Worldwide. They're the experts in this very specialized field. Going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd. Connect with them at www.pmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. Harold's website for diamonds, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And the number to speak with him, connect with him personally and privately, 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. Our featured diamond of the week, it is a stunning diamond. 2.42 carat, round, brilliant cut, fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless. And you don't normally see something, a beautiful, fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless with that round, brilliant cut. It is absolutely spectacular. And we encourage you to go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com and take a look at the featured diamond section, look at the video, speak with Harold about adding it to your personal diamond portfolio. During the week, Harold had the opportunity to be interviewed with Nancy Brinker, who is the founder and chairperson of global strategy at Susan G. Komen. And they were on Bloomberg, along with Pim Fox and Carol Masser, discussing what turned out to be just an outstanding auction, raising money for breast cancer for Susan G. Komen through hsfineauctions.com. And Harold, we have that interview. People can listen to it. We can send it out to them. And as well, what an outstanding event on Wednesday. This was the first time that we had an auction that was raising money for charity, and it just turned out to be a spectacular night.
I was very, very proud, Randy. And again, the interview on Bloomberg went very well. How fortunate for myself that while I was in New York getting ready to do the interview, that Nancy Brinker herself was in New York, and, you know, we're close friends, and she came on with me, and I got to tell you, the people at Bloomberg are just the best. Carol Masser and Pim Fox were so into what we were talking about, and they did a lot of research, and they certainly knew who Nancy was. I mean, Nancy Brinker just grew up, you know, with her sister in Illinois, you know, in a normal family, you know, doing normal, you know, girl things, best friends, go to school, go to the prom, all that type of thing. And, you know, the fact is that back in the late 70s, early 80s, not an awful lot was known about breast cancer. In fact, you couldn't even say the word breast cancer on television or in print. That's how backwards it was back then. Well, as Susie contacted breast cancer and was not doing well and was basically, unfortunately, on her deathbed, and Nancy, her sister, was with her every step of the way, Nancy promised her that she would do everything in her power to end breast cancer. And she took that promise very seriously and started the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Charity, and started basically with a list of people, and, you know, got her first donation, and one thing led to another. The unfortunate thing is that 2 years after her sister Susie died of breast cancer, Nancy contacted double breast cancer, and she beat it at this point. Now, Nancy went on to start the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Charity, where they've raised over $2.5 billion for this horrible disease, and they've just done such an amazing job, and it's just grown into an international organization. So she did a phenomenal job. I'm very, very, very pleased to be involved with them, and we held an auction for them on Wednesday, May the 21st. And I had designed their pink ribbon, the pink ribbon that signifies breast cancer. We produced one out of pink sapphires. And we gave one to Nancy, but we also made another one for the auction. And the starting price was $5,000, but the price of the ribbon went to $21,000. And all that money went to the charity. It was phenomenal. We had some beautiful pieces. We had a 201 carat fancy yellow diamond ring worth $45,000. We had a pair of earrings, princess cut yellow diamond earrings, that started at $17,000 that ended up selling in the $50,000 range. We had a fancy, vivid yellow diamond ring that did extremely well. We had another pair of earrings that started off at $21,000 and sold for $45,000. The pink diamond ring sold, the 1 carat pink. There was a pair of multicolored diamond earrings that are so rare, one of a kind, that couldn't be duplicated. The starting price was $15,000. It ended up selling for $55,000. And the most expensive diamond that we've sold thus far at auction was a 502 emerald cut diamond ring that would take your breath away. It was estimated value at $250,000. The starting bid was at $90,000, and it ended up selling for $160,000. So, the beautiful thing is that this was a win-win situation. Win-win meaning that a lot of money went to the charity. We raised $70,000 in 1 hour for the charity, which did my heart very, very good. I was very, very pleased with that number. In 1 hour, we raised enough money to donate $70,000 to the charity, and we will continue to do these auctions. So I'm a firm believer, in this win-win situation, because, again, not only did the charity do extremely well, but so did my clients. Again, when you can buy a $250,000 diamond ring for $150,000, it's a winning situation, because you got something that is so extremely valuable for $100,000 less than what it would have sold for. And basically, our clients will enjoy these beautiful pieces, wear this diamond ring for the next 4 to 5 years, and then give it back to us to sell again on our auction site. So it's just very exciting how this is working out, and the charity itself was just ecstatic with the money that they received from us and how the actual auction went. We actually had people from all over the world. We had people from as far as Kuala Lumpur. We had people from England, all over Europe, Australia, Canada, and the United States. And basically, it was a lot of fun. We raised a lot of money for charity. It did my heart good to really help this charity, because I believe in these people. These are mostly women that really fight every day to get the job done. They're highly motivated. They're imaginative. They're hard workers. And those are the type of people that I like to be involved in. So we plan on doing about 4 auctions for them a year. And then, fortunately for my company, because, we have such a great relationship, we will be going to their fundraisers. The one I'm most excited about is the one coming up in Chicago in October, where it'll be at the Wrigley Mansion. We all know who they are. And I get to actually sell diamonds for the charity and for myself at this phenomenal affair. So, again, it's very exciting what's happening in the diamond market. This week alone, something amazing happened. There was a diamond that was sold, a blue diamond that was sold back in 1991, about 25 years ago, and it was a blue diamond that sold through Christie's at $2.5 million back 25 years ago. Do you know that diamond sold again this week for $17.5 million? So when we talk about diamonds as an investment, they're not short-term investments, but they're the best long-term investments that you could possibly buy. There's so many different cases of diamonds that have gone up over time. Again, in that case, in 25 years, you saw a $2.5 million investment climb to $17.5 million. Is there any other market in existence that could possibly happen with? And I say no. So these type of diamonds, that are extremely rare, they go up and up and up in value, but you got to give them some time. You don't buy a diamond today and sell it in 2 or 3 years. You've wasted your time. You're not going to make any money. You buy a diamond, you put it away, and it's got to be a certain type of diamond. A yellow flawless diamond, for example. A fancy yellow flawless diamond back in 1980 was $500. Today they're $20,000 plus, and in another 10 years they'll be $75,000. Why not put those away for your future, or your kids' future, or your grandkids' future? They never drop in price. There's very, very few of them available, and then we put them on our auction site and we sell them for you. But you've got to do it over a longer period of time, because you've got to give the diamonds a chance to get even more rare than what they are. There's only about 100 flawless yellow diamonds cut a year. So that's not a very large number. But put these away. I put them away for my grandkids. My grandkids are 10, 8, and 2. So in 25 years or 20 years for the older grandson, the fact is he's going to have something that's going to give him a tremendous start in life. But if I put that same $20,000 into the stock market, the chances are he'd end up with nothing. So I put them into the areas that I feel most comfortable. I've been in the investment business for 35 years. I've been in the diamond business for a long period of time. You know, the fact is that my wife's girlfriend inherited a pink diamond from her grandmother that her grandmother bought 50 years ago for $50,000. Today that diamond is worth $5 million. You know, Randy, we've had so many countless, and I mean countless examples of diamonds that have gone up over time, and the returns have been absolutely shocking. And, you know, with the orange diamond, that vivid orange diamond that sold last year, I know for a fact that the rough diamond, the rough vivid orange diamond, was originally bought for $2 million. When it was cut and polished and held off the market for a while, they brought it to auction, and the experts felt that vivid orange diamond was going to sell for about $17 million. It shocked everybody and sold for $35 million. Then 5 minutes later, it was sold privately for $40 million. That's how the diamond market works. So the fact is that the original diamond was bought for $2 million. It may have been held onto for 10 years. But again, you took a $2 million investment and it netted $40 million. How do you do better than that? So what you want to concentrate on right now is you want to concentrate on the yellow flawlesses. There's very few available, and for those that can afford them, the vivid yellow flawlesses. They're getting very, very expensive because very few exist. Now, the feature diamond that Randy was referring to is really one of the rarest yellow diamonds you could ever buy. It's 2.42 carats. Only one diamond in 15 million is over 2 carats. But then add to it that it is round. The fact that it's round makes it the rarest cut of all cuts in yellow diamonds. Then add to the fact that it's vivid in color, is the highest saturation of color. So you've got a diamond that's, you know, one in like 30 million type of thing, just based on the fact that it's over 2 carats. Then add to it that it's vivid, flawless, and round, and you've got one of the rarest yellow diamonds in the world. That diamond sells for a small fortune. 10 years from now, that diamond will sell for a very large fortune. So for those that are in the financial situation where you could, afford to invest in a diamond like that, you're talking about a diamond that is basically in the $400,000 range. That's how rare that diamond is. So basically, that's what's happening in the diamond business. If you look at what happened at the last few auctions that happened over the last couple of weeks, excluding mine, you're talking about diamonds that, again, are selling in the multi-millions of dollars. My business is different. My clients are not necessarily the clients that are buying these $15 and $20 million diamonds. Sure, I have the odd client that buys them, but most of my clients are hard-working, everyday people that want to invest their money smart. They're petrified of the stock market, and you're only making 2% keeping your money in the bank. So putting your money in an asset like a yellow flawless diamond or an Argyle pink diamond will make you returns that you'll never get in any other marketplace. Pink diamonds are probably amongst the best investments you could make right now because the mine that produces 95% of them is going to close soon. And it's only simple understanding of the marketplace that supply and demand will tell you when a market is going to go up. When the demand for a product is high and the supplies are low, that's definitely a recipe for extremely high prices, and that's what's happening in the pink diamond market right now, because soon 95% of all the pink diamonds in the world will be gone. If you don't take advantage of that situation right now, like at these particular points where the prices are still reasonable, you'll look back at this as one of the opportunities that you'll kick yourself for missing. We've talked about this every week now for the last 10 years. And the fact is that these diamonds continue to go up and up and up in price, but nothing compared to what's going to happen the closer we get to 2020. When that mine closes, the Argyle mine closes, you could see the price of these diamonds go up 1,000%. There's no other investment in existence that will give you those type of returns with the safety that you have in the rare diamond market. So again, the other thing about diamonds is it's a beautiful asset. You could put it into a beautiful piece of jewelry and wear it and enjoy it and then give it back to us to sell at a profit down the road. And that's how we do well, when our clients do well. We get 10% of the profit and you get all the rest. So continue to look for our auctions. The fact is that the summertime is coming. Business slows down a bit. A lot of people on vacation. This was our last auction until October, till we come back. I go to Colorado for 4 months during the summer. I still work out of there every day. But again, with most people on vacation and traveling, and a lot of our clients in Europe, they tend to take month and 2 month long vacations. So we will start the auctions again in October, and we're going to try to hold auctions 2 or 3 times a month. We have magnificent jewelry. We have phenomenal diamonds. We have a charity that wants to do a lot more. And not only are we a partner of this charity, and we'll do great things for them moving forward, but so is the Dallas Cowboys, American Airlines, and other major corporations. And again, I anticipate that my company, my small little business, will donate upwards of $1 million to this charity this year just on functions that I run for them. So again, Randy, I'm very excited about what happened with the charity auction. It was the first one that we did. We're writing a check for $70,000 to the charity, which makes them ecstatic. We'll do 4 of those a year at least, which will put about $300,000 into their pockets, and then we're going to do these fundraisers, which will also be successful for the charity and for my company. So again, I'm just ecstatic about the auction. It went extremely well. We got to donate again, Randy, $70,000 to the charity, and I don't think you could do much better than that.
Not at all. First time out, simply outstanding, especially when it was roughly about an hour and a half. If you would like to hear Nancy Brinker speak along with Harold, they were interviewed on Bloomberg, and we have that interview. We have a link to the interview. Speak with Harold, and you can connect with him at rarecoloreddiamonds.com or 1-800-432-1022. Get that interview, listen to it. Actually, I became a lot more hopeful about the prospects of eradicating breast cancer when you hear Nancy Brinker talk about some of the treatments of the future. And that's an exciting prospect. Also, Harold, he has been on Bloomberg Television twice. If you would like to see those interviews, we can send them out to you. So we have the Nancy Brinker and Harold interview on radio and the 2 TV interviews we can send out to you. The featured diamond of the week is a 2.42 carat, round, brilliant cut, fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless. And Harold, people should speak with you. This diamond is absolutely gorgeous.
It is, and ridiculously rare. And again, the chances of ever seeing another diamond like that is extremely slim. So again, it's a phenomenal diamond. It's a diamond that if you put it away will make a fortune for you down the road, because again, there's just no diamonds around like that. We've got some beautiful new diamonds in. Our diamonds start at about 15 to 20,000 and go up from there. We have diamonds that go for over 30 to 40 million. But again, the majority of our clients are hardworking Canadians and Americans that just want to put away an investment that they're not going to lose their money on, like the stock market and keeping your money in the bank. So again, I've never been more pleased about what's happening in the market. Our auction business is phenomenal, Randy. It's really something that can't be duplicated. We're the only company in the world that has it, and the charity was so blown away by it, as were other observers that saw it, that we hope to have other types of auctions going forward. Again, working with the Dallas Cowboys, working with American Airlines and different companies, and holding auctions that will benefit charities. So again, you know, the economy around the world and in North America is tough right now, and the charities aren't doing as well because people just don't have the money. But this is such an important charity, you know, and being with Nancy Brinker, not only did she make a promise to her sister that turned out to be the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Charity, this woman went on to work under George Bush, became the ambassador to the United States for Hungary, became Time's most influential person. This woman took this promise that she made and turned her life into something that is so exciting and helping so many people. And again, that's what we want to be involved with, and those are the type of people that we want to be around. So again, very pleased with the results of the auction. Business is very strong. We're moving into a slower time during the summer because, again, a lot of people travel and go away on vacation, but we will be open for business every day. And even though I'll be working out of Colorado, I work with both of my sons. My offices in Florida and Colorado are open every day, and we do business just like normal.
You can connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, telephone number 1-800-432-1022. If you'd like to take a look at Harold's website for auctions, it's hsfineauctions.com. Go through past catalogs, get an idea of some of the items that have been featured before, and take a look at our featured diamond of the week from rarecoloreddiamonds.com. A 2.42 carat, round, brilliant cut, fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless, absolutely gorgeous. And I should tell you, last week we did mention it. Harry Winston, they purchased the largest flawless, vivid blue diamond in the world, the Winston Blue. They have renamed it. In fact, it sold for $23.8 million at Christie's sale, Geneva, Switzerland. That's nearly $1,800 per carat. Paid for the 13.22 carat diamond, represents a world record for a blue diamond. Now, they did change the name on it. The other stone that sold, and it was absolutely spectacular as well, is the Graph Yellow. And that sold for $16 million. So we had a big 100-carat yellow cell. We had the blue cell. Now, coming up this week, we will have auction results for you. The Eye of Golconda could fetch $10 million at Christie's Hong Kong jewelry auction. A necklace featuring 2 Golconda diamonds will be the top lot at Christie's Hong Kong Magnificent Auction, and this is featuring jewels May 27th. And these are D color, flawless, and the estimate on it, as they were saying, could be around $8.5 to $10 million. And they also have a 9.38 carat pear cut, and this is a pear-shaped fancy intense pink diamond. The estimate on that diamond, $5 to $8.3 million, $5.8 to $8.3 million. So next week we will have auction results for you. If you missed the auction results on the last show, Christie's and Sotheby's had auctions in Geneva, Switzerland, featuring those 2 diamonds, the blue and the yellow. We'll be happy to send those results out to you, and be prepared for new auction results coming up on the next show. Harold, we have approximately 3 minutes left here, but we're in auction season. Some of the numbers we're seeing are very exciting, and if people would like to find out what's happened in the first quarter of this year, we'll be happy to send the auction results to them.
You bet. We've got all the auction results for you. You got to look at them because, again, we talk a lot about the big, beautiful, multi-million-dollar diamonds that are being auctioned off, but there's other diamonds being auctioned off also that are not multi-million dollars, and we're finding that those are the diamonds that are really percentage-wise going up the most, and that's what we've been saying all this time. Invest in the lesser-priced diamonds at this point because with the shortages in the market and with what's happening, you're going to find that over time that these are the investments that will end up making you the most amount of money. So we're very excited about what's happening in diamonds. I'm very concerned about the overall world economy. The stock markets do not look good. They're going to plummet very soon. The fact is the currency markets are all over the place. The markets are being played with, but that's not happening in diamonds. Diamonds are just doing extremely well. They're a phenomenal asset, and again, they're portable private wealth. It will really protect you against anything really bad that could happen in this economy.
Speak with Harold about diamonds. RareColoredDiamonds.com. 1-800-432-1022 is auction site. HSFineAuctions.com. Featured Diamond of the Week. Go to the website, RareColoredDiamonds.com. Take a look at the featured diamond. 2.42 carat, round, brilliant cut, fancy, vivid, yellow, internally flawless. Absolutely spectacular. And don't forget, the company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in gold and silver, Worldwide Precious Metals, website www.pmc.com, telephone number 1-866-623-2002. Going to be in Edmonton June 2nd and 3rd. They're booking free private information sessions. And they don't have many slots left. They fill very quickly. If you would like to sit down with them when they're here in Edmonton, connect with them at www.pmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. And when it comes to diamonds, Harold's website, RareColoredDiamonds.com, the auction site, HSFineAuctions.com, and speak with Harold about diamonds at 1-800-432-1022. Thank you very much, Harold Siegel, for another outstanding show and your knowledge as usual.
My pleasure, Randy. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.